Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. This is Expresso right here on S3.
It is.
We are just talking about what to expect from this next movie. JP...
Which is out already, by the way.
Which is out already, by the way. But JP seems very intrigued and excited.
Well,
and still in one piece after this movie.
Is there anything you know about it? Because you seem sort of like,
No, I've just, you know what? I do enjoy these type of movies.
Same.
Conclave,
This is
by
like
the way.
up my avenue.
Yes.
I love it.
Conclave. There we have it. The poster tells you a little bit.
Ray Fiennes should be enough for you. I feel like Ray Fiennes is a name that we should be mentioning as easily as we do. We go, oh, Daniel Day-Lewis, one of the greats, and he is. But man, Ray Fiennes is such an incredible actor. You've got 3 Oscar-nominated actors in here, by the way. And this definitely looks like the kind of movie that's designed to be an Oscar grabber next year. Ray Fiennes, you've got Stanley Tucci, who's incredibly...
I love him.
What an amazing man. What a beautiful voice that man has. John Lithgow as well. And they're sort of the unknown actors here as well, who you're going to be like, that dude just ate a scene and I don't know who he is. Wow, geez, I just got into my assessment already. Hey, go watch this movie. So if you need any more convincing, let's have a look at a clip from Conclave, which is already out. Go watch it.
Father Bellini. Aldo.
Am I the last?
Not quite. How are you?
Oh, well, you know, fairly dreadful. Have you seen the papers? Apparently it's already decided it's to be me.
And I happen to agree with them.
What if I don't want it? No sane man would want the papacy.
Some of our colleagues seem to want it.
What if I know in my heart that I am not worthy?
You are more worthy than any of us.
I'm not.
Well, then tell your supporters not to vote for you, to pass the chalice.
And let it go to him? And I could never live with myself.
That was enough for me. Like, take my money. That looks really good.
And it's the kind of thing where, like, the script, it's really enthralling and it's really, like, captivating and all that, you know, fancy adjectives. But just having that acting cast itself, you could have them talk about potatoes for 2 hours. And
But that's it. You can immediately and very quickly tell when a movie has weight. And you feel it when you watch just a little clip like that. And it's got a weight to it.
The opening shot, because just so you know, a conclave, man, I'm a lapsed Catholic, so don't listen to JP on this, but is when basically the Super Saiyan of Catholic cardinals from all over the world.
The Super Saiyan.
The cream of the crop.
That's a great way to put it, though.
The top cardinals from all over gather together to have an election for the next pope, because in this movie, it passes under circumstances which I won't say are dubious, but are pretty sudden. And so right from the get-go, the camera shot is just the back of Ray Fiennes, and it's this trudging man who you can feel he's on a mission. You can feel the tension in his hand as he clenches his briefcase. He knows he's going to make some tough decisions. He knows he's going to run into the politics and the dynamics of the who's who and who's too ambitious to do what and all that kind of stuff. And it becomes his job. It falls to him. He was right-hand man to the highest man for God on earth in the Catholic religion. And what's beautiful is that it starts off with they all gather around the bed and they have a prayer, of course, for the departed. And he just starts crying. And he's like distracted by like the fact that there's a reading book and spectacles right there. This happens so fresh, like the book is almost still warm. And so there are these beautiful tensions between how amazing the ceremony of it all is, because, by the way, this is all deeply researched. It actually is the case that after the Pope dies, his apartment that he was living in, they wrap it off in a red ribbon. They put a wax seal on there. No one is to enter. The ring, they chip it off his finger. It's called the fisherman's ring. And they destroy it right there next to the body. And so there's this huge amounts of ceremony. But ceremony, like, becomes this iceberg almost in the way of A, the guy mourning, someone who was precious to him, and B, asking hard questions of like, wait, why are we just like, oh, we're green, let's go ahead for the election. What else is cooking underneath the surface? Surely I've got to know, was there a scandal? Was someone possibly involved and implicated in this? And so as more and more of these cardinals start coming, a mystery cardinal somehow shows up as well. A guy who the Pope said, you're a cardinal, by the way, and you're going to be a cardinal in this country, which I'm not going to spoil too much.
Yeah.
But it's got all sorts of drama and those sort of crazy stickinesses behind him. One's a complete fascist, like a nominee. He's like, no, that should only be delivered in one language, you know, Latin. And, you know, this idea about gay people and that idea about these people, and it's a flagrant racist, basically, about the possibility of an African cardinal. And then another one has his own sticky past. I don't want to spoil too much. But
you've given us a lot, and it sounds amazing.
And even then, it still becomes a rabbit hole. I've not told you anything. It's if you're into detective you know,
Right.
kind of stuff. If you're into, like we were talking about Magpie earlier, that scandal, you know, like what's the motivation behind this dude? You know, is this guy being honest about this and whatever? Then it's great for that sort of juiciness, but it also is really compelling. Like I said, even for myself as someone who's lapsed, I've not been to church in far too long. Please, I'll take confessional from anyone at this point. Then it's really got a sermon that was for me. I was like, man, that hit the spot. That was really deep.
Wow.
Talking about doubt and how doubt is something that people who were raised Catholic like myself, you deal with at like really deep levels, and it gets sort of semi-profound about this. It doesn't get necessarily too lost in the woods on the complexity of the whole thing, because it is still just this detective kind of story. Don't worry, it's not a straight-up murder mystery. It's mostly just about the motivations of the nominees, etc., etc. I don't know why I'm saying all that when I could just tell you Ray Fiennes, Stanley Tucci, John
That's
Lithgow.
enough, right? You
That's
said so
it.
much about this movie. Do you have anything bad to say? Was this like a 10 out of 10 popcorn rating?
So, I mean, in terms of scandals, and by the way, there's another one that the Vatican's just hit recently. It's like barely in the news, is that there's been a phone hacking scandal involved with them and in relationship with Israel. I'm not the professional on that. You go read the news yourself. So there are plenty of other scandals we could talk about, including the protection of pedophiles and the trafficking of pedophiles. And they only barely touch on that. It's not that they're spineless to talk about it. It's just that there is a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
Already there's a lot to chew on. But fascinating, really enthralling, really suspenseful. This movie suffocates you throughout.
Wow.
I think you only see the sky twice. And in real life, the Conclave is such that the windows are shuttered in. But whatever, look for yourself. Let's have another look at Conclave, already out, and I highly recommend. Here it is.
You should be careful, Thomas. Your own ambition has not gone unnoticed. This might be seen as a tactic to blacken the name of a rival.
Well, that's a despicable accusation.
Is it? I wonder if you really are so very reluctant to have the chalice passed to you. I shall pretend this conversation never took place.
It's intense. It's intense. I can understand what you mean by it's going to keep you here.
Like, it feels like there's no oxygen in the room in anything you're watching in this, and it's
that's good.
mostly down to just like seeing two forces like that. You put two actors head to head. Like I said, they could talk about, I mean, whatever they're like, serviettes for 2 hours, and you'd be like, oh my gosh,
so
people wipe
thrilling.
their hands with these.
You were saying that you let out a couple of moments.
Thank you for bringing that up. Yeah, like I'm reclining in I'm enjoying it. So like I'm chilling. And at one point there's a reveal that made my Cape Townness come out. I went, yo. So prepare yourself. It's out already. And heck, the amount of heck is the word I can use there, not the other H word. The amount of suspense in this movie is fully deserving of a number. I'm sure you want to hear.
Give us
10 out of 10?
Gives it 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10.
Like I said, it could have gotten so much more rich about the scandals that we really have to talk about in very hard terms. That we were mentioning Spotlight earlier, which was an excellent movie as well. But you can't go wrong here, and it's definitely one of these movies that's going to get 3 Oscar nominees who have not won one thing, any of these guys.
Right.
At least 1 Oscar next year, I'm sure. I can't say for who, though.
All right. JP, thank you very much.
Not to miss.
8 out of 10 out already, so go and watch it and see for yourself.
Incredible.